Welcome to my Substack. I have the amazing, world famous Matt Walsh with me today, the auteur of What is a Woman? And Now, Am I a Racist? Welcome, Matt Walsh.
Hey, Ann. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I've heard that voice a lot over the past day. I've been watching your movie over and over again. I should also say, Matt Walsh of Daily Wire, which is totally tearing it up. I've been a fan from the beginning. Congratulations on that too. Totally congratulations on this documentary. I hear it's crushing every place, and they're trying to ban it every place.
Yeah, we're. I'm. You don't know what to expect when you get into the theater world. It's a new place for us, and obviously you're going up against movies that have, $100 million in marketing and all that kind of stuff behind them. Not to mention you've got the entire media apparatus that pushes these films out, and we don't have that. In fact, we don't have. Still to this moment, as far as I know, we have not gotten even a single film review from a single mainstream movie critic, which. I don't know if we're the first movie to be in the top 10 at box office for 2 weeks straight and not get a single review from a mainstream critic, but it doesn't happen very often. I can say that for sure.
Well, that is very impressive. Congratulations. Your movie was great. Totally drove me crazy that you did not let the nuts talk longer. Though I'll admit you're very funny. But man, you have gold there, but they're just little gold nuggets, and they start to talk in all the crazy ways white women talk about racism. And I just wanted them to go on and on and on, and you start doing your Jerry Lewis thing, which again, very funny. But if you have those on the cutting room floor, I would love to hear a lot more from the ladies.
We have, there's a lot. I mean, for making a movie like this, you need a lot of, it's raw, a lot of raw footage goes into it. So there's probably hours and hours of it. But the thing is, it gets repetitive. It's kind of it's the same core idea over and over and over again. It's kind of like Kate Slater is the first woman we talked to in the film. And she kind of lays all this out. And that's a short, I don't know, it's 4 or 5 minute interview. And what she says is kind of, that's it. Like that's their whole worldview is right there contained in that 5 minute chunk. Mm-hmm. Which is one of the reasons why we decided to go a slightly different direction with how we made this film than we did with What is a Woman. What is a Woman was a lot more of kind of letting them talk. I mean, we let them talk a lot in this movie, but we also wanted it to also be a comedy, which means that's kind of the balance between, we want to get the crazy stuff out, but we also want to use these environments as a forum for comedy, because it's also that. It's like there's a lot of crazy stuff, but it's also just, you take something like Race to Dinner.
That's unbelievable. And how did you get in as a waiter?
Well, yeah, I don't want to give away all the secrets of the trade, but I will say that we did call them, and we wanted to have me actually join as a participant at the dinner. And we asked about that because we said we're making a movie about anti-racism. We're making a documentary on anti-racism, which we were, so we weren't lying. And they told us that you have to be an actual woman to attend. And then we asked, of course, what do you mean? What does that mean? Like, what if it's a trans woman? They said, I think because what they really meant was, no, you have to be a real woman, but they couldn't say that. So instead they said, I think their phrasing was, well, it has to be someone who's been socialized as a woman. That's how they tried to thread that needle. And so then we knew we needed to find another way in. And we came up with this waiter gambit.
When you dropped everything, and that was very funny. I really wanted to hear that woman going on a little bit longer about how this country is a piece of shit and it's not worth saving. Man, she is ginned up. She also, I don't even know her. I doubt you know much about her, but I'm absolutely 100% know she lives in a lily white neighborhood and a man is supporting her, either her father or her husband.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good safe bet. And I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it's a good safe bet. She's, I don't know her, but I've known of her. If you spend too much time on Twitter, as I do, she's you go back years, and she's just one of the most vile people. She's been one of the most vile people on that site, although she's since fled since the movie came out. So that's at least one public service we performed. But she is, and even in person, I have to say that she's just exactly what you expect in person. Just a really unpleasant, to me, seems very miserable, unhappy person, which is exactly how she comes across.
Let's be clear, what's happening in this country, it's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people. The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
And wait, what's her name?
That's Syra Rao.
She was the one calling. Sorry, some of it I was just listening to, because I particularly wanted to address her. Wow, the Indians come here and start running a lot of cons on Americans. She's not a descendant of slaves. I liked her claiming that she used to pass for a white woman. No, Sarah, I promise you, you never passed for a white woman. Wish you'd been able to get into their caste system with her. Indians are bringing all kinds of great things. In addition to the con games they're running, slavery, they're bringing back to the country.
It was actually interesting because at the moment at the end of that dinner, when I get them to toast to racism, I said, raise a glass if you're racist. At first, they all raised their glass, including the black woman, blanking on her name, Regina Jackson, I think. Anyway, but they all raise their glass, and then the black woman puts her glass down because she says, "Oh no, I'm not racist." But Syra Rao keeps hers raised. So apparently, in the leftist, racial ideology world, we know that all white people are inherently racist. That's what they believe. Black people can't be racist. They believe that. But there's always been a question of what do you do with, it's not just black and white, what do you do with the other races? And so I guess that means that if you're brown, you also are racist too. I don't know. It's still kind of unclear how they see that.
I really would have liked it. I'm fascinated by this. What's it called? Race to
dinner.
Dinner. Oh, man. If you could you go back and get the demographics of the towns those ninnies live in? Because that's all I think people are thinking when they watch these nincompoop white women talking about how they're so racist, and they start crying and wow, you don't know any black people. You have not lived around black people. I want to plot you down in the middle of Bed-Stuy for a year. What percentage of white women do you think are such nincompoops?
Oh man. Well, you do have to narrow it down to liberal white women. Every conservative white woman I know doesn't go for any of this stuff. They wouldn't be caught dead at a race to dinner event. That's for sure. I think, but among liberal white women, it's got to be 100% of them. I mean, or very, very close to it. If they really are, if they're full on leftists, then that's because you have to be. It's if you're not, then you're not actually on the left anymore. I mean, this is a core belief. And if you don't go along with it, then I don't even know if you qualify as part of the club at all.
I don't know. I think there are plenty of Democratic white women who would not go for this nonsense. Of course, they've met a black person in their lifetimes, unlike these broads. So what do you think the funniest moment of your movie was? I have a vote.
I mean, most people would say Robin DiAngelo paying reparations, which was hilarious. And it's hard to beat that. I mean, it's especially, and you could tell from the movie, it's not a surprise, but I've always been a fan of the kind of very cringe, awkward, dry comedy, old Ricky Gervais shows from the mid 2000s. Some of my favorite comedy. And that's in my mind, that's the best version of that kind of comedy in the film. Because it's very, even now, as someone who's in the room, when I watch that scene back, I can barely watch it. It's very uncomfortable, but also funny. So that's my vote. But what would your vote be?
Wait, before we get to that, what was her? I saw on Twitter, and I forget exactly what was her complaint? How she was had? You fooled her. Well, duh. But didn't she have some complaint about that or some justification?
That was her complaint. She claims that we fooled her. We were deceptive and dishonest, which we weren't. I mean, we said, like I said, we're making a documentary on anti-racism, which we did. And then she kind of claims, I think, that we tricked her basically into paying reparations, or she claims actually that it was all a big setup on that only I was involved because, of course, we bring my black producer in, Ben, and she claimed in her statement that he was also visibly uncomfortable and that he had been dragged into this, and so I was really victimizing both of them. But I hate to tell Robin that my black friend Ben was very much a conspirator in that whole scene.
You can watch complete episodes of Unsafe with Ann Coulter by subscribing to anncoulter.substack.com. That's anncoulter.substack.com. You can also listen to complete episodes for free at Ricochet.com. Choose Unsafe from the pull-down menu at the top of the page. That's Ricochet.com, your home for civil center right conversation on the web.